Looking to sell your car quickly and for top dollar? At buyyourcars.net, we make it easy. Whether your vehicle is new, used, or even damaged, we'll buy it in any condition. Fast offers, quick cash, and hassle-free transactions. What more could you ask for? Just visit buyyourcars.net, enter your vehicle information, and get a fast offer within minutes. Ready to sell? Call us today at 770-815-0342 or fill out the contact form at buyyourcars.net. Get cash fast for your car the easy way. Buyyourcars.net. Selling your car has never been easier.
Hi, I'm Mark Farner, and you're watching CMS TV.
It's Bolt Thrower right here on your Classic Metal Show with When Cannons Fade. And that one going out by request to
someone.
The Wretch.
Okay.
The Wretch wanted to hear that. And just before that, we heard Alcatraz with All Night Long for the North Carolina Metal God. And Scorpions, Pictured Life for Hardy Boy. And Skid Row with a dedication to former frontman from his wife, former wife, Sebastian Bach. Get the fuck out. Going up by request by Cole Robot.
Right.
So apparently that's the case in
what? Sebastian World?
Sebastian World.
Yeah, he had a tough week.
Yeah, he had a bit of a tough week.
Which first and foremost, why he's doing it on social media, he gets what he deserves.
Well, again, this again goes back to everything we always say. Why do you have to put all of your personal stuff out on social media?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
And Sebastian should have been quiet about this and dealt with it.
Yeah, you don't talk about your breakups and your divorces and your whatever, and post everything on social media. I mean, it's freaking ridiculous the way that people live their lives online. Mm-hmm. Even people who are entertainers, Sebastian, you would think he would get enough accolades and attention just being Sebastian Bach and going out and performing his shows and, so on and so forth. But he has to have an online life as well, which is ridiculous.
Somebody said to me he got trumped and dumped all in 1 week, which is funny as fuck.
That is. It's absolutely true. As big of a detractor and a hater he is of our great President Trump, his wife had enough. She skedaddled apparently and took the dog too.
Yeah, took the dog too, and him just going online, look, here's my dick in these new pants. Look at how big it is. Who wants to suck this cock? And it's like, dude, fuck you, you fucking tool bag. He's a tool bag, period. And, and then the worst part about it is then he has to go behind it and apologize like a little bitch. I don't know. Did you see that he apologized?
No, I wasn't aware of that. No, I'm so far removed from the nonsense. The only reason I ever find out about these things is if people share them with me, and obviously you were the first one to shoot me over that photo of the before and after.
Right.
And then of course the fans who send in their stories and comments through the CMS email.
Sure.
That's typically how I learn or find out about things. It's just like, because I'm certainly not out there on social media or paying attention to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just, I don't know. Here's his quote back. I would like to clarify that I am still married. What I posted 2 days ago when I got home was completely inappropriate in every way. No, I am not single. I guess soliciting blowjobs for chicks in Cincinnati, that's That's off the table now, apparently.
Okay.
I am doing everything I can to work these things out with my amazing wife. Hopefully we can come together and get back what we once had. I am ashamed for thinking my marriage was over when it is not over. I am extremely sorry for upsetting Suzanne and our families and for posting inappropriate content on the internet. I have to be accountable for my behavior, and I apologize to my wife for overreacting when I got home. I know it's going to be tough to get back through this, but I married Suzanne for life. The ring is back on the finger, and I have no plans to take it off.
All right.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Until the next time.
Yeah, there's zero chance this works, right?
No. No, of course it doesn't.
She left and took your dog, dude. She came back, but she's just waiting for you to do something stupid again. And you will, because you're Sebastian Bach. That's what you do. That's what he does. And look, I hope I'm wrong. I can't stand his attitude, and I don't listen to his music anymore because he asked me not to. As a guy that voted for Trump, I'm not smart enough.
Right.
I'm not smart enough to listen to his music, so I don't. That being said, I don't hope that he ends up, destitute and paying a wife alimony. I always take the guy's side, or at least I usually, 99% of the time, I take the guy's side. Because I'm tired of chicks just fucking dudes over, as they do every time in divorce court. They just fuck guys over. But if there was ever one time where I looked at it and said, this might be the one time I don't take the guy's side, it's Sebastian, because he's such a monumental dick day in and day out on social media.
Right.
And quite frankly, I hope he fucks up again and she leaves him again. I really do. Just so I can watch him drink 2 bottles of wine and fucking lose his shit again. I don't know what else to say. I know the fans want some big discussion about this.
Well,
I don't know what is there to discuss.
It's a relationship. I mean, most of us, if not all of us, have had them. Mm-hmm. They come and go. They just come and go.
Yeah.
And whether it's a marriage or a boyfriend girlfriend situation or whatever the case may be. I think Bob Seger sang it best. Women may come, women may go. All of them trying to cage me.
Yeah, he's right. And again, I don't know the Suzanne LeBlanc or whatever her name is. I don't know her from anybody. Never met her. Probably never will.
I met her very, very briefly. Sebastian was very hovering over her like somebody was going to steal her from him or something.
Well, that's the weird thing, too. In some of these posts, some post somewhere, he talked about, that whenever he sees her with someone else, he gets jealous. And
he does. I witnessed that firsthand.
And just hearing that, it's like, yeah. And then he wonders why she left. She feels like she's in prison. Fucking back up, dude. Just because she's a hot chick doesn't mean that everybody's going to try and fuck her. And and even if everybody does try to fuck her, maybe it's up to you to trust her. Because if you don't trust her, what are you in a relationship for in the first fucking place?
Right.
I mean, really, that's. I always revel at that when guys get jealous. When they get so jealous that they got to hover over their chick. And me, as awful as I was as a husband, and I have told every faggot story that I have about my faggy way that I was as a husband, I never did that. I never was like, oh, who is that guy talking to her? It's like, look, you either trust her or you don't. And admittedly, I got burned on the trust because then she went and cheated. But whatever, you got to take that risk because who wants to be in a relationship where you got to fucking... That's not a relationship. That's raising a kid. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny because Taylor and I were actually having a similar discussion last night.
Okay.
About relationships in general. Right. And about the whole trust factor and having to check up on somebody all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I said, because we both agreed that if somebody has a predilection to cheat or be unfaithful, they're going to figure out a way of doing it, regardless of how often you check up on them.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're going to figure out a way of doing it, regardless if that's their bent. And the thing is I've caught flack for the opposite reason.
Sure.
It's because I'm not jealous and I'm not overly protective, as it were.
Yeah.
And you just don't care. It's
dude, go ahead. Finish.
You just don't care. And it's like, well, I do care, but I'm not going to get bent over it over your actions. I can't stop you from doing whatever it is that you're going to do. All I can do is trust that you're not going to act that way. But if you do, I'm certainly not going to lose sleep over it. It's just like, I'm going to kick your ass out the door and, go on my merry way, which I have on numerous occasions. You've known me for 30 years.
Yeah.
And you know that they've come and they've gone, and when I put the boot to the ass, that's it. You're done. You're out of here.
That's it. Well, it's funny you bring that up because my marriage, and I got to be careful what I say here, but because I still do have that.
Even after all these years?
I signed paperwork.
Yeah, I know, but how long is that in force?
I don't know.
Does it say in perpetuity on it somewhere?
I don't know that it says in perpetuity, but I know it doesn't not say that either. It doesn't say that, and it doesn't not say that. It just is a thing that I said I wouldn't do.
All right.
But I'll put it this way. The final fight before she told me she was leaving was because I didn't appear to give a shit what she was doing.
Right.
And I didn't. And that's the truth, is I really didn't. And, and we were going in that direction. We had so much of that, she'd come home from the store or something and it was like, oh, I spent $43 at Walmart. I bought a pair of shoes and some ant bug spray or something, whatever the fuck it was. And I was always like, why are you telling me this?
Right. Are you trying to justify something or what are you doing?
Yeah. And really it was her trying to get me to spend time with her and give her attention. And I just didn't have it to give her.
Right.
And that was really what it came down to. So chicks need it. They need the attention on them, but they don't want to be smothered either. Or at least some don't. I know my ex seemed to. The dude after me was a smothering hawk. And she loved that dude way more than me. And God bless. That's fine with me. I don't care.
Right.
Because I'm never going to be that guy. I can't dedicate that kind of attention to any chick. No way.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be selfish and way more important than her. Sorry if that's harsh, but it's truth.
Yeah. Well, speaking of relationship stuff.
Yeah.
My nephew sent me a link over to the latest Anthony Cumia YouTube upload.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that?
Did you mail it to me?
No, I didn't send it to you. I just didn't know if it just popped across your feed or anything.
I didn't see it this week.
Well, no. He basically did a half an hour talking about after 10 years after his domestic violence charge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He finally got his guns back.
Oh, I did see that. I did see that he got his guns. Yeah.
10 years later.
Yeah.
It took him 10 years to get his firearms back that they confiscated when he had a blowout with his then girlfriend.
Yeah. Crazy.
And so he did a whole half hour thing where he was showing off some of his firearms,
his weaponry.
Yeah, showing all the guns that he got back after 10 years.
Right.
It's
crazy.
And he basically discussed the hoops he had to jump through to get them back. Of course, this altercation happened in New York State, where he was living at the time. He lives in South Carolina now, Greenville, right. South Carolina, which is more a free state that, they're more follow more the Second Amendment
Mm-hmm.
than the state of New York.
They're more conservative.
Yeah. So he basically was just showing off some of his guns, which some of them I remember when he had acquired them during his time on O&A.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when he'd always talk about the new weaponry he bought or
Right.
he acquired something new and he was showing them off. I go, yeah, I remember when you were talking about that on O&A, you know,
Sure.
that you bought the Desert Eagle, 50 caliber, where he had won an auction at some NRA meeting where he got 2 Colt 45s,
Right.
matching set and things like that. He was showing those all off during
Sure.
this video. So I was thinking, holy shit, this altercation he had with his chick cost him the ability to have his firearms given
Yeah.
back to him after 10 years.
10 years. It's crazy. Well, when we have Anthony on the show, you guys can compare guns.
Yeah, we can talk about guns. I'll have a few of my firearms ready
Yeah.
to talk about and discuss, I'm sure. But it was pretty entertaining listening to him talk about what he had to do to get those guns back.
Yeah, what a pain in the ass, huh?
Yeah. And I mean, he didn't even get charged with a felony or anything. It was just a more or less a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
But at the time of his arrest, they basically went through his house and confiscated all of his guns.
Yeah. New York sucks.
I know, they blow, man.
Fucking, I couldn't even imagine going there even for a trip or anything anymore.
I know.
No, thank you.
Yeah, it's the asshole of the world as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I think that's reserved for Cali. I'll say they're the taint of the world, and Cali's the true asshole.
Of course.
As they sit there and say, the leading candidate to replace Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I know. She got to run for governor.
Good Lord. What is wrong with those people out there?
They just can't cut loose of the toxicity.
What is it they think is good? That's the thing I always wonder.
The thing is that the old ass Nancy Pelosi is going to run again.
I know. She's going to be like 86 when she runs.
Yeah. So if she makes it through her whole term, she's going to be like Dianne Feinstein, who basically died in her chair in office.
Yeah. They'll be wheeling her out to vote with her mouth gaped open.
Yeah. Looking like Jimmy Carter on his 100th birthday.
I'm here to vote.
Yeah.
Funny. Yeah. Kamala. Somebody put my hand on the button.
But the stupid constituents in California will still vote for that.
Yeah, that's because they're stupid. They're just stupid. I honestly, anybody that votes for Gavin Newsom in California is a fucking idiot. How do you look at your own state and not see how fucked up it is just compared to what it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago? How do you not see that and fix your own state? Good Lord. If you drove every single day and one of your tires kept bursting, you'd get a different fucking rim or something on the on the car. Instead, they just keep putting the same rim on the car. Just let it keep being fucked up.
No different than the city of Chicago. They just keep re-electing the same people again and again and again, and they're just driving it deeper and deeper in debt.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, the crime is out of control. The taxes are out of control. The debt is out of control. But just keep electing them Democrats, blue no matter who, blue no matter who.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they might as well be blowing those people that they elect because all they're doing is giving them money.
Yep.
Ugh, it's just fucking terrible.
It is terrible. But anyway, I just thought since we kicked off that thing with relationship stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Thought I'd bring that up to you. But
sure.
So what else you got there? You got
I
your
got plenty.
video clips. Your
I do.
video clips available.
Yeah, well, we'll get to Florentine here in a second, but we'll do Florentine in this segment too.
All right.
But I want to bring up a segment that that somebody put in the locals chat. John Phillips put in the locals this week. I'm just going to say this one more time.
All right.
And I'm not trying to be mean here, and I'm certainly not mad, and I appreciate John Phillips putting this up. But every time Eddie Trunk says something is not a slam against the CMS.
Okay.
I just have to say that. I mean, so this clip came up, and I'll play it. Eddie was talking about my interview with Rachel and Snake this week.
Okay.
He did not give me credit for it.
Well, of course not. Why would he do that?
But and of course people are like, is he fucking dissing you? Is he?
No,
you know,
he doesn't give credit to anyone.
No. And to be fair on that, most people don't. We don't always give credit when we do interviews either. You know, we try to sometimes. You know, when we read the story, we do read, hey, well, on the XYZ show or whatever. But a lot of times we'll just play the clip and we don't give the credit for it. It's part of the game, and that's part of what I'm saying here. But people heard this. I got this not only from the locals, but I also had a couple people that emailed or texted me rather, and were like, "Is Trunk fucking with you?" And I'm like, I don't think he's. So I wanted to play the clip, and have you decide: is he fucking with us, or is he just reporting a news story? I say he's just reporting a news story.
You know what? Knowing Trunk the way that we know Trunk,
yeah,
he's just reporting the news story.
I'm sure he doesn't care.
But the thing is, the part that I don't like, or I think it's kind of ridiculous, is when he denies he knows the source.
That I agree with.
He denies he even knows what that. Well, this came from what, Metal Shop? What is that? Was that show from? I don't even know what they're doing now. I think that was what, Charlie Kendall, but is that still Charlie Kendall?
Yeah.
I don't know. Was this from like 25 years ago? I'm so oblivious to what's going on out there.
Yeah, and it's really funny. Like that specific thing, I obviously, as everybody heard, I went crazy about. I did have an issue with that because he did exactly what you said, and he also tried to integrate himself into our story when he tried to integrate himself into the Aerosmith interview with Tom Hamilton. I was like, no, fuck you, dude. You want to read the story? Fine, read the story. You want to comment on it, that's fine too. But don't try and say, as he put it, we finally have an interview with a member of Aerosmith. No, we don't. I do. You don't.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy.
You said you contacted every member of Aerosmith, and then you said, I don't have Tom Hamilton's contact, so I wasn't able to contact him. But
just last I know, he wasn't a replacement player.
but 2 minutes before, you said you contacted every member.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, that kind of stuff bugs me. I heard this one, obviously, because it was sent a few times. And I didn't get upset about it, personally. Now, maybe you will. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't get upset about any Trunk.
Yeah, well, here's the quote. I'll play it, and you tell me if there's any reason at all to be upset about this.
All right.
We had Michael Schenker on the show on Monday, and we talked about this whole UFO thing and him re-recording these songs. I asked him if he was going to go out and tour. He said yes. We know he's on the Monsters of Rock cruise. Nothing else really announced for America. But he did announce more shows in Europe, and the singer, as he previously mentioned, for the European dates is none other than now former Skid Row singer Eric Gronwall. And again, this is really interesting. And I saw a recent interview with Snake and Rachel where they even admitted this is eyebrow raising. Because Eric Gronwall left Skid Row because of his health, which is a very legitimate concern. The guy has been battling cancer for a long time. And, his need to come off the road and rest and all of that. But it does raise an eyebrow when the guy goes out and commits to a tour of Europe with Michael Schenker. Because, anybody with a brain would say, well, maybe there was something else going on, right? Now, I don't know. It could be, the workload isn't as intense. I don't really know. But I did see an interview with Snake and Rachel where they even said, they were kind of like surprised by it. And all they know is that he wanted to leave the band because he didn't want to tour. Now, I don't know. Maybe he's feeling better. I mean, it's just an odd thing with Skid Row because, of course, they just put out a live album that he sings on, that they're in a position to promote a live record with a singer that's not in their band anymore. And they've yet to announce who their next singer is going to be. But the former one, who left over the grinds of touring, has just been announced as Michael Schenker's lead singer on a European tour singing UFO songs.
And that's it.
No, he was just integrating what he had heard into his discussion. That's all.
I thought the same thing. I didn't think it was any big deal. Look, of course, trolling. Well, if he's trolling us with that, I don't care.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, I don't give a shit.
That's just pretty funny.
But yeah, so look, happy he mentioned it. Maybe people will see it on Blabbermouth or something. That's fine with me.
Right.
But I don't think he's trolling.
No, I don't think so either. He just integrated, that tidbit in his discussion. Also questioning, well, why is Eric Ronwall touring when he couldn't tour with Skid Row?
Yeah.
Which is what fans as in general are asking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well, dude, and it's, I'll tell you one thing that is very surprising to me is how much vitriol our fans and our friends have against Eddie Trunk. I got to tell you this story. I will not say who did it. I'll text it to you in the private chat here.
All right.
Who said this to me? But you're not even going to believe it because this is not a guy that you ever expect any kind of controversy from.
Okay.
All right. Did you get that?
Oh, wait,
it's in the private chat on the
there
video.
We go. Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw it.
So I told him that I was talking to Florentine and that I was going to ask him about Eddie Trunk.
Right, of course.
And I told him, in my world, it wouldn't bother me a whole ton if the distaste for each other's show went away. I'm sort of not Angry Aiken anymore. I'm just not. And I wouldn't be so upset if we weren't. I mean, I love when we goof because it's legit. But I wouldn't be terribly upset if, and I said this, I wouldn't be terribly upset if we found a way to put that to bed. I got handed just, what the fuck is wrong with you? How can you let that douchebag this and that? I mean, he went on and that guy.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that guy say a bad word about anybody?
No, he's one of the most conciliatory people you'd ever meet,
Yeah.
And more or less try to take the high road all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
And he's like, that's a war you need to keep.
Well, I don't even think it's a war. It's not
I don't
a
think
war.
it is. I think
it's just being honest in our commentary when it's justified.
Well, here's where I do think it's not like the Talking Metal.
No.
That was a war. That was a legitimate war. It was me. I was mad because I got fired from CBS. I'll tell it, the way it was. I did something wrong. I even admit to that. I still would do it again, but I clearly shouldn't have been firing off, stuff that heinous, I guess, when we worked at the same company. That being said, I don't look at this the same way. I think it annoys me some. It probably annoys you more, even though you won't probably admit it, about the whole shirt and the garbage thing.
Yeah, I just thought it was very disrespectful.
Just a dick move.
Yeah.
Which makes me more than happy to point out things because this guy did something dicky to our show. But I don't have any skin in the game. I've said a million times, I like Eddie, his interviews. I listen to him every Thursday. Every Thursday I download his podcast and listen to it. I'm a fan of his work. But he did disrespect our show. I don't feel like he disrespected you as much as I feel like he disrespected our show because he thinks he's better.
Right. Well, the interesting thing is in my encounters with Eddie and which there have been many.
Yeah.
Because he's typically out on those shows that Dokken plays, and I'm out on the road with Dokken 6 to 10 times a year.
Right.
And I run into Eddie, and he's always very friendly, always comes up to say hello and all these other things. But
Right.
When podcasting was kind of on the upswing there, when people started uploading their shows and things, he would come and ask me, how do you guys do this, and how does that work, and how do you do this and that, and because I saw that you guys are doing this and asking questions about how we do this, and I think this was when we were into Spreaker, and we were uploading it on iTunes and various other things like that, and he was asking all kinds of questions, and then of course the money thing came into
right, of course.
Well, how do you make money with that? I said, well, Eddie, we're not into it for the money. I said, we're doing, well, you ought to put that behind a paywall, and you ought to, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, there's just not enough interest in that. Well, I noticed this paywall thing went away pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I don't think he does that anymore, does he?
I don't know if he does or he doesn't, but he's definitely putting out a free podcast every Thursday.
That's the point. It's just that he was doing the whole behind the paywall, and you can pay to get this exclusive interview with yada, 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 and that didn't last long. We know from personal experience, fans don't want to pay a dime for shit.
No, they don't.
They don't want to pay nothing.
And in today's world too, there's so much content that why would you?
I agree.
We try to do. I try personally to make sure our locals guys are well taken care of, that they get more than $5 a month worth, whether it's
and the way that I look at the locals, it's not to pay us for what we do.
No,
it's just a way of, I just want to call it pay a tribute to what we do, not because neither one of us is making any money on that.
No,
all of that just goes to, bills, just covering the expenses, and that's it. And what doesn't get covered through the locals, I stroke a check for that at the end. So it's just how it goes. And I've done that for 30 years. I've self-financed this show from day one. And I continue to doing it only because it's my passion. It's a passion of mine.
Yeah.
It's what I do. It's what I put my money where my mouth is, as literally.
Exactly. And not trying to turn it into the business of the classic metal show.
No, of course not, because it wouldn't be fun if it was the business of the class. It wouldn't be fun.
It definitely wouldn't. Well, thank you, Johnny. I appreciate the comment. Brian, do y'all have two houses? I think not. Eddie wins again.
No, that's true.
Maybe.
I could have two houses if I wanted them.
Yeah,
but not
what
necessary.
Are you doing with
them? I barely use the one I have.
Yeah.
I mean, this place is too big for me. So
yeah, dude, I'm in the same boat here.
It's like I don't even use half of this house. It's like I don't understand the appeal of huge houses. I really don't get it. It's just like, ugh, what are you going to do with that? I mean, fortunately, I belong to an HOA. I don't particularly like that aspect, but at least they take care of everything outside. They mow the grass, they weed the flower beds, they keep everything, the snow removed, everything is taken care of on the outside. And then on the inside, I have housekeepers that come in and clean the house.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to do it myself, because I can. So that's just how it is.
Exactly.
But other than that, aside from a roof over my head and a place to call my own, not a big deal.
Yeah, there's no need for it.
It's not something I go, man, I just wish I had that huger house over there that had 17 bedrooms and,
Well, and the bigger part is that even if you did, I doubt you'd be on here going, well, when I was out at Vegas at my other home this weekend, I was doing this or that. I doubt you'd be doing that.
Nah.
It's just not the way it is. And
you know what? And we both can agree to this. One of the early on, as a fan of Lemmy,
Mm-hmm.
he really put things into perspective. He goes, you can only live in one room at a time.
Yeah.
He goes, I've never had a big house or a flash car or this, that, and the other. He says, how many rooms can you live in one time?
Yeah. No, he's right.
And it's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So it's like never had that desire for just an overblown lifestyle. Oh, I got a home here and I got a home there and
right,
all that. I could,
yeah,
but
who
I don't
cares?
desire that, and it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
I just years ago, and you're well aware of this, when I was involved with my former brother-in-law in business. My sister and their big deal was designer stuff. Oh, we're getting Tommy Hilfiger, and we're getting
Right.
Louis Vuitton, and we're getting this, that, and the other, and you should come shopping with us and get some, what's that former Nazi, Hugo Boss suits.
Hugo
and
Boss. Yeah,
you should get some Bruno Mali shoes, and it's like, I don't give a shit about any of that. Never
right.
have. Don't care about it. Don't care about it in the least. So that's just, people have their different things that they enjoy in life, and God bless you if you can afford it and that's your lifestyle and things. But for me, not done. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm with you. I don't care about any of that nonsense. Just stupid. But anyway, let's talk about Jim Florentine since we're talking about Eddie.
Before you do that, I sent you over a link that one of our fans sent over, since we're talking Eddie Trunk here.
All right.
He sent it over. He said, not sure if you caught this, the latest from Eddie Trunk talking about his recent encounter with Gene Simmons.
Okay, let's see.
I personally didn't listen to this because I wanted to hear it for the first time on the show.
Yeah, I've not heard this either, so let's see what we got here. Share. Here we go. All right, well, let's see. It's 10 minutes. Jesus. All right.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the whole thing or not or what.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. Here we go.
Elliot Easton from the Cars was supposed to jam with them. He didn't turn up because he wasn't feeling well. But the guests were Phil X, best known now for, of course, playing in Bon Jovi, and Kenny Aronoff, drummer extraordinaire, were some of the special guests. The other big guest that was not pre-announced but did turn up and play was none other than Gene Simmons. Now, if you were listening last week to the show, somebody called in.
Is he recording this in a gym?
I don't know. It might be one of them deals where he's in a hotel room, or he's on the road, man.
Sounds like he's recording it next to the pool at the Holiday Inn or something.
Yeah,
It's like, Jesus.
Got the echo going on.
Yeah, big time. All right, here we go.
And said, do you think there's a chance you'll have Gene Simmons on the show, given that Kiss has kind of ended and maybe some of the whatever has gone on is dissipated, and Gene would be open to coming on the show and yada, yada, yada. And I said to that caller last week that I would be likely seeing Gene Simmons very soon and would feel that out. The reason why I said that is because I knew that Gene Simmons was going to play last night. I could not say it publicly because they didn't want it out. They wanted it to be a surprise. Now, the event...
I was in the mix, and I knew what was going on, but I couldn't share.
Right.
I needed to keep that quiet. It's a little secret I knew.
I knew Jack Russell was dead 7 days before they announced it.
And I knew at that time that Gene Simmons would be playing this top secretly, but I didn't share it.
I could be trusted with secret stuff.
That's right. Holy cow. Okay. Here we go.
It was sold out either way in advance, but Gene was supposed to be the big surprise. So I couldn't say where I was going to see Gene, but I knew Gene was going to turn up to this thing.
Okay.
And in fact, he did. So as I hosted the evening,
Hi.
As I hosted the evening, I arrived at the door and waited for the red carpet to be flung out all the way to my car. And then I walked down the red carpet into this venue. Holy smokes, Eddie. Relax. We get it. You were there. All right, here we go.
Once Chevy Metal got up there and started playing, it was maybe like 3-4 songs into their set that Gene walked in. And I was, busy doing what I was there to do, host.
What were you doing if the band was playing, if you're the host? What were you there to do? You were there to say, ladies and gentlemen, Chevy Metal, and then walk off the stage. So what had you so busy, Ed? Am I crazy here?
No, you're not.
I was busy.
I was very busy.
What were you doing? Writing your lines for the next band to come on? I mean, what the fuck? Okay. All right, here we go.
There were auctions. There were silent auctions. Again, it was a charity event. So I was doing what I was asked to do for that.
All right, everybody. Got to tell you, I have this Kiss guitar. The bidding starts at $1,000. Who's going to bid it? I am holding it now. I have it up for auction. Come on, dude. Stop making it like you were so fucking important. The integral part of this fucking event. Just stop it. Oh my God. All right. Now I'm like, I don't even want to be cracking on him, but he's making it too easy.
I know.
It's too easy. Holy shit. All right, here we go.
But Gene, when Brent went on stage, he told me, keep an eye out. Gene's coming. I'm going to be on stage playing. We got a room for him in the back, and he's going to just get up and do Deuce at the end of the night.
Oh.
But he goes, let me know when he gets here. So Gene walked in maybe 3 songs into the set, probably about an hour before he was scheduled to go up. And during a break in between the 2 songs, I went up and told Brent that Gene had arrived, and he said, okay, see what he wants to do. And with that, a woman named Mary Kuznier, who works also on the Wendy Dio charity that I know, came over to me, and she's like, Mary's a trip. She's funny. She's awesome. And she's like, Gene's here, and he says he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know anybody. He doesn't know what's going on. He goes, can you go talk? I said, well, you want me to go talk to him? And she said, yeah. She said, because he's telling me he doesn't know what he's doing and if he's playing, and he's just back there. And I go, oh, okay. I said, I thought it was all sorted, but I'll go talk to him. So with that, I went back into the room that they had Gene kind of sequestered in, and I saw him, and I extended my hand, and I said, hey, Gene, and instead of shaking my hand, he was fist bumping. Some people do that now. Instead of shaking, they default to fist bump. Fine. So I did the fist bump, and I said, hey, Gene, I said, Brent's on stage, and I said, Mary told me to come back because you didn't know what was going on and if you were playing. And he just looks at me and he goes, who's Mary? And I said, Mary's the woman that was just in here who told me to come back. And I said, she said that, you needed some instruction as to what was going on. And he goes, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I said, okay. I said, well, you're playing. He goes, yeah, I guess. That's how he was answering me. And I go, well, you're going to be doing Deuce. You know that, right? Because she told me you said you didn't know anything. Okay, it's all good. And I said, well, one other thing. I said, Deuce is like the second to last song. They just started. Brent told me if you'd like, we could shuffle the songs if you want to get on earlier so you can get out earlier. And he goes, no, it's fine. Everything's fine. Just leave it as it is.
Clearly, Message received. He had nothing to say to you.
Yeah. You're very dismissive. It's just like, yeah.
He took a look and was like, "Oh, Jesus."
Because I know why I'm here. I mean, what's the deal here?
I think this is more of Gene took a look, saw Eddie, and was like, "Oh my God,
Like-
you fucking kidding me? I've avoided this fucking guy for the last 30 years. Now he's in he found his way into my dressing room."
Yeah. It's like, well, okay, I know what the scoop is. You can go now.
Yeah, beat it, announcer.
I don't want to engage in any lengthy conversations here. So, I got it. All right.
Yeah.
We're clear. Now clear out.
Yeah, exactly. now get out of here. All right, here we go.
And he says to me, I thought he said to me, "Who are you?" And I just looked at him. I go, "Who am I? You don't know who I am?" I mean,
Oh my God, are you kidding?
No.
Are you kidding?
Oh no.
You know, I am the great Eddie Trunk, God damn it.
What do you mean?
I am more famous than you, retired guy.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
What do you mean, who am I?
That's hilarious. All right, here we go.
remember, I've interviewed this guy, known this guy a long time, even though we're not in touch. I go, "You're asking me who I said, "Gene, you don't know who I am?" He goes, No. He goes, "I mean, what are you doing here?" He didn't say it in a nasty way. He just was, in that authoritative, like, and I said, "I'm hosting this." And he goes, "Oh." I said, "Brent, who's in your band now, is one of my best friends." And he goes, "Oh, sorry to hear that." Just who?
God damn it, that's funny as fuck.
Who?
You're right, Black Metal Ray. Who? Exactly right. But that's funny. He told him that Brent's his friend, and and Gene was like, "That's too bad."
I'm sorry to hear that. That reminds me of that story Ryan Cook of the band Hair of the Dog told us about meeting Bon Jovi.
Yeah,
Who are you? How did you even get back here?
exactly.
It's like, Jesus Christ, I'm opening up for you guys tonight. Who? Who are you?
Brent is fired.
Yeah, you're done.
Could be. All right, here we go. This is funny. All right, here we go.
Gene in Gene mode, with like kind of a guard up, if you will. And again, I don't need to overly engage with anybody. I don't need everybody to be my friend. I've got 98% of people who are musicians are, more than generous and kind to me and appreciative of me.
Wow.
Oh, I've got 98%.
98%.
The 2% are just riffraff because I have 98%. Jesus. I wonder how many of that 98% will be when he doesn't have a show anymore. That number is going to dwindle quickly. Oh, my goodness. Okay, here we go.
So I don't need the validation from it. I mean, I appreciate it. I really, it's all good. So I'm like, okay. I said, "So you're good?" He goes, "Yeah." He said, "So you're host?"
Huh?
He goes, "Yeah, I'm good. I told you that already."
Yeah. Why are you still asking me?
Yeah.
All right.
This? I said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm helping out." And he goes, "I don't need or want any intro of any kind. I will just walk out." No problem. And with that, I left. And
Send him packing.
He doesn't even want Eddie saying his name.
Yeah, because I'm Gene Simmons. I mean, all I have to do is walk on stage. Everybody knows who I am. I don't need to give me a grand introduction.
That is hilarious.
That is funny.
Oh, my God. This is great.
I'm surprised that Eddie even tells this story.
I am, too. Good on him for telling it. That's for sure. because he looks like a boob in this story. Holy cow. All right, here we go.
That was the extent of my interaction with Gene. So, you know,
you know what? You can tell he's really embarrassed about this.
Yeah, well, which is why I'm surprised he's even telling the story.
I am too.
I'm, this is an encounter that nobody else but Eddie and Gene knew about.
Yeah.
It's not as if, other people witnessed it and said, tell that story, Ed. I'm just surprised that he would roast himself like that.
Yeah, and it's not likely that Gene would do another show and say, oh, you're not going to believe how I dissed Eddie Trunk.
This is highly doubtful.
This is like such a this is a gnat to Gene.
Right.
It's a gnat biting his arm. It's nothing. But, oh, boy, what a sad sack story this is. Holy, my goodness. All right, here we go.
Although it wasn't, what's the word? It wasn't rude, I guess, in any way.
It was dismissive.
It was not exactly like, hey, Eddie, how you doing, man? What's going on?
It was kind of like if somebody handed me a T-shirt and then they walked away and I threw it in the garbage. It wasn't insulting the way I handled it. It just was insulting the way it worked out.
Yeah, very dismissive, though. It's just like,
Okay. All right, here we go.
Talk to me. How are you? Nothing like that. It was just, oh, you're hosting this? Okay. Yes, I'm fine. Fist bump, and that was it. So, yeah, the idea of me engaging beyond that, and especially with when I had a lot going on, and the vibe of like, hey, Gene, why don't you come on the radio show, was really, I didn't feel was, the time, place, or the mode. And I really didn't think.
When is the time, place when you're at a show to say, hey, come and do my show? Is there ever a time that's cool?
No.
That's never a good thing. Ugh. Okay.
I think it was going to be, something that was overly well received. Now, Gene has told me countless times that he does not have any problem with me at all. But as I've mentioned many times, there is a political aspect in that band with his partner, who I've actually engaged with a couple times without an issue. But I can't deal with the dynamics with some situations. So I'm me. I do what I do. My doors will open to everybody, but it just didn't seem like it was the time, place, or the vibe to be like, hey, Kiss is done. You want to come on the show? And I had other shit to do, honestly. So, that was the extent of it. And I also took from it that there was, when he made a point of saying when I told him I was the MC, that he did not want an intro. And I took that he made a point of just, not that he restated it, but he told me that clearly. Now, I don't think, I may be reading into this more, but I don't think I am. I suspect he did not want an intro. Because number one, I wouldn't have been the one who would intro him, because within the body of the band's set, the bass player Wiley was bringing up the special guests. I was running around doing auction stuff. I was coming out only a few times during the main performance. But I bet he was concerned that if I was on stage bringing him out, that, of course, you've probably seen online, there's a billion videos of him going out and doing that one song already from last night, that he probably was worried about the affiliation of seeing me intro him. And
oh my God, that is quite the reach. That is quite the reach.
I didn't hear this, but I knew that's what he was leading up to. Like, hey, we're all buds. We're old friends.
That is a
I
huge
don't
reach.
think Gene is worried about the stigma of being seen in the same space as Eddie Trunk.
All right. You've watched in your life, what would you say? 8 zillion YouTube videos of live shows?
Tons.
Has there ever been one that you watched where somebody introduced somebody and you said, oh my God, they're affiliated with that guy?
Not even once.
Never has that been said. He is way in his own big bald head. Good Lord. Stop with that nonsense. All right. Here we go.
If how Paul responds to that. What he may or may not know is I've introed Paul twice in the last 2 years. I've brought Paul on stage twice in the last 2 years. One time I did an auction with him, and the other time I brought him on stage at a Chris Angel charity that I host every December. So I don't even know if Gene knows that, because again, I don't know how much him and Paul talk and what their dynamic is these days. But there was always a thing about that. It all sounds so silly, I know, but I'm telling you, you guys wouldn't even begin to know the dynamic, the ego, the politics, and some of the stuff that goes on with some of these bands. You wouldn't, in your wildest dreams, begin to imagine. So again, man, I'm a high road guy. Whatever, it's all good.
He's a high road guy.
Yeah, he's taking the high road.
Really? How high was that road when you dumped that shirt in the garbage there, pal? Was that high? Did you have to reach up to dunk it in the garbage because you were on the high road? Stop.
That's too funny.
Let's finish this up. It's only like 20 more seconds. Here we go.
They will always be an immensely important band to me, as you guys know. I don't need to be friends with every person in every band.
Are you sure?
Sounds like you do. Sounds like you're quite upset that this guy didn't treat you like a friend. Sounds like you're pretty upset that he was dismissive of you. Am I reading that wrong?
It sounds like it to me.
Doesn't sound like it was a nothing. If it was a nothing burger, you wouldn't have fucking spent 10 minutes on it. You would have spent 2 seconds. All right, Anthony. That's pretty funny. A road as high as his hairline. All right, here we go.
Plenty of people I just have working relationships with. That's fine. And there's a couple that, because of whatever reason, I'm not a guy they want to work with. And that's all good too.
All right.
I accept my fate, my lot in life. Gene Simmons and the Kiss camp don't want anything to do with me.
Yeah, they don't. Okay, well, there you go. So, Eddie, not loved.
Funny.
All right.
So where are we at time-wise here?
We're at about an hour. You want to take a break?
So you want to do your Florentine in the third segment then?
Maybe the fourth.
All right.
Maybe we'll do something else. Only because I don't want it to only be. I want some of it to be for everybody.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
So let's do the. We got other stuff we can definitely do.
I'm sure we do. We got stuff to get to.
Yeah, we'll do that, and then when we come back in the fourth segment, we'll do the Florentine stuff.
All right, fair enough.
Didn't expect this to take an hour.
Yeah, well, fun. That's what's fun about this show is that you just never know where it's going to go from minute to minute.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to get back into the tunes here. People requesting stuff. I got a song here for Demon, featuring Adrian Smith and Richie Kotzen on the Smith Kotzen release.
Okay, cool.
And she wanted to hear Scars, which I think you have a song called Scars.
That's the bet. I have a song called Scars, and my song is better.
Maybe this is a cover of your song.
I think these guys stole it from me.
All right,
dude, you might as well play 5 songs too, because it's going to take me that long.
All right.
Just play
I know
5.
that ahead, so I'm going to play 5 songs. So
Yeah, there we
there's
go.
a high probability that if you got a song request in late, you might actually hear it.
Yeah, you might hear it tonight. There we
All
go.
right. All right. Well, here it is. It's Smith Kotzen with Scars exclusively here.
On your classic metal show.
What's the most painful way to die? Shotgun blast? Speeding bus? Drowning? But for many, burning alive is the most unimaginable fate. In 1994, Chris survived an industrial accident that left him with burns over 69% of his body. Just living defied all odds. In Call Me Chris, Chris Aiken shares his harrowing journey of survival, recovery, and the brutal honesty of facing life after the flames. It's raw, real, and a testament to human resilience. Get your copy of Call Me Chris today at chrisaiken.net or on Amazon. Witness the power of determination.